Hey, what's up guys? My name is Moda and welcome back to the Mining Stacker YouTube channel. Today's video, we're going to do our monthly ASIC pricing update video. This is going to be for July 2025. In this series, what we're doing is we are looking for those deals. We're kind of looking through all the popular ASICs. We're kind of looking for any price fluctuations and kind of see where the trend is going. Are they trending up? Are they trending down? Just to get an idea. So if any of you guys are interested in purchasing, this is a good way to kind of research prices. You can look back at previously what prices were, but we're going to talk about it. We'll talk about the trends and kind of what to expect. And overall, the trend currently is prices are ticking up a little bit, although not as much as you'd think considering where the market's at. Okay, so we're going to look at these prices. We'll talk about it. We'll give our thoughts on some of the more popular ones. If that sounds good, guys, stay tuned. Let's get right to this thing. So we'll start by taking a quick look at the market. So currently BTC is at $118,000, which is a pretty big contrast from where we were on the last update video, which we did actually skip June, just because there was really no variance between the previous month. Okay, but back in May when we did our last video, BTC was about 105, 106,000. So again, even in just this 2-month gap, like we mentioned, just even a month or two, it's a whole different world, right? Currently, right now, BTC is at this crazy price. Sentiment is definitely gaining traction. A lot of these alts are definitely gaining traction as we look at them. Again, as we mentioned in these previous videos this past week, things are looking extremely juicy. And what do we know typically when a lot of these prices start to pump? A lot of the ASIC miners start going up because of the profitability going up. Okay, so even if the yield and everything is the same, which typically that's the reason we focus on that. As soon as the fiat value, the fiat profitability starts going up, so will the prices. Okay, so a lot of them still haven't flipped a ton yet. We'll talk about as to why, but just keep in mind that again, as these prices tick up, which they're kind of accelerating, even with the popular big ones, such as like Doge, for example, being up 40% on the 7-day, Caspa 32%, etc., etc. Talked about it. But just keep those things in mind. Okay, so at this point, it's hard to really say if we're going to retrace or go any lower. We'll give our thoughts a little more specifically as we get into it. As we look at overall mining profitability, things are also, again, they're just looking much better. Okay, as far as the top few go, again, a lot of it's the hydros. Again, those are three-phase, those are kind of irrelevant for a lot of us. One that I'm going to get a lot of questions on, I'm getting a lot of questions already, is the iceriver AE2. We'll talk about everything kind of going on with it briefly. We've talked about it pretty extensively, but we'll talk about kind of what to expect if you are considering getting one, just because you are going to have to buy a good chunk of Aleo just in order to even be able to use the damn thing. Okay, so keep that in mind. As we go down the list, though, again, it's been the same theme these past like 5-6 months with script ASICs, BTC ASICs kind of being the top, kind of being the only really thing being profitable right now. Okay, that's definitely been the name of the game. Yes, these Aleo ASICs have been up here, but we know that's going to change drastically as they already have, and it's going to continue because of the whole stake to mine thing. But as we go down, the kind of variance this time is that some of the other altcoin ASICs are finally starting to flip, right? Even at a 10-cent kilowatt hour, a lot of them were at a slight loss, so not very appealing. As we look though, again, script ASICs have been the name of the game. Currently at L9, the 16 gigahash model at a 10-cent kilowatt hour is still profiting about 20 bucks a day currently. Okay, so this is where it's pretty big, right? So there's going to be a renewed interest in not only the L9s, more so like the L7s, right? Previously, these past few months, a lot of people have been kind of clearancing those guys out. We do know that there are new L7s coming out, yes, because of how big script is, as well as the DG1s, a lot of those things. But again, for me personally, latest and greatest, even right now, again, to me, the time to buy ASICs was a year ago. Make sure you understand what you're getting yourself into, especially if the cycle kind of plays out with any of these things. Okay, understand full well what that entails. But again, like we were mentioning though, a lot of these altcoin ASICs are starting to become profitable. For example, the Caspa ASICs, the KS5 Pro at a 10-cent kilowatt hour, $3.50 a day. Okay, not the greatest thing in the world, but again, if you have them off, if you're at a 10-cent, you may want to flip back on. The KS7, obviously, the newer unit is making a pretty decent chunk a day, but we'll talk about that price though, which honestly doesn't make sense. Even Aletheum's actually profitable just because of the difficulty going down pretty severely. Kind of coincided with that upgrade. I don't know if they're having issues with it. I don't know what's going on. It's extremely odd that out of nowhere it dropped so aggressively. Regardless, if you're mining, things are looking very good there. Even some of the others, right? CKB had this recent pump. It's making $1 a day, which again isn't a whole lot, but break even or better is kind of the goal with the majority of these. Kadena also in that range, so it's making $1.78 a day. Okay, so it's starting to flip the script. Obviously, this isn't a ton of money. But again, if you previously had these ASICs, you were unplugged, not the bad time to be jumping back in if you haven't already. Okay, so things are starting to finally flip. Will it continue? We're going to have to wait and see. All eyes and all data points, everything's kind of looking towards it. We're going to have to see how this thing plays out. Let's continue on though. So for any guys ordering any ASICs, again, there's still going to be volatility. Yes, for the most part, a China deal has been made. As we've seen though, if they piss Trump off or if something happens, things can change. So just make sure you understand that. Especially right now, we're coming very close to this August 1st tariff deadline to kind of give us more clarity, maybe lock in more deals. We're going to see how things play out, but just understand that it's still kind of all over the place if you're ordering overseas. Me, personally, if you are ordering anything, I would only order things that are available stateside. Okay, we're going to look at prices kind of on every end, but realistically, reach out to your vendor, reach out to different places to try to see if you can get any stateside inventory if you're in the US, right? Which a lot of these guys do have warehouses now. They have been making that available. They can kind of give you better data on that, okay? So just fully understand that just because, again, the tariffs have still been all over. I've been hearing some people getting hit just a few percent, 10%, other people getting hit with like 50% tariffs, even recently with these Canon Avalon Qs. So just keep that in mind. It's still extremely all over the place. So let's start looking at some of these prices. So again, one of the more popular ASICs is going to be the L9. Okay, so there are other units that are, again, similarly spec'd, the Volkminer D1, etc., but again, the price is too close. To me, it doesn't make any sense to go with the lesser known, less reliable ASIC. Realistically, the L9 is kind of the way to go if you are into script ASICs. Okay, we are going to have that DG2, but it looks like, again, it's not going to be till the end of the year. So in reality, who cares, right? It's here and now. You want to take advantage of this price action to get in. Okay, so as we look at pricing, something to keep in mind. Okay, so there are two different listings. One is for spot availability, and the other is this August batch. If you have been checking in with your reseller, there is a cheaper August batch coming, kind of telling us what? There's probably going to be a shit ton of units. Okay, so just kind of understand that spot inventory has been a little sketchy and has been a little bit pricey. So a lot of them are in this price range. The 16 gigahash model for this August batch being at about $78.99, which to me is still a little bit on the high end, especially considering that Miner Bros, who's typically anywhere from 10 to 20% higher, has actually the same price. And as a matter of fact, they're actually going to be cheaper going through them currently because they do have different coupon codes from different creators and such. So actually, in this case, Miner Bros is going to be the better price. Okay, so make sure you realize that. You kind of look at different things, but to me, it's just signaling that it's overpriced. And in reality, again, we've been tracking these prices for a long time. To me, these prices have still been way overpriced. Okay, this has been the price range for these past like 5-6 months. Even when profitability was a lot lower, we can tell that these manufacturers did not want to go below this price point. Okay, and even right now, honestly, it's a little bit surprising they haven't pumped up more. The spot availability did, for any guys who are able to find spot orders, they're like 85 to 9,500 depending on who you purchase from. Most places are just now listing this August batch as a pre-order. Okay, so to me, should have been, these past 6 months, it should have been in the 5K range. You can make the case for this price now because of this little pump, but to me, it's just still kind of overpriced. It's an ASIC that's now a year old. If this cycle kind of plays out, still kind of a tough sell in my opinion. Again, to each their own, but that's the way I kind of view it, at least for script ASICs. But most of these prices, again, they're not up a whole lot from where they were considering this pump. I think everybody's still kind of on edge a little bit, but we can definitely see where the lows were now because, again, they never dip below a certain price, okay? So that's kind of it for the script ASICs. There are the little at-home ASICs. Those didn't really fluctuate in price. The little mini D1s are $1250 still. The DG homes are going up a little bit. They were under $1,000 depending on who you were purchasing from. They are going up a tad bit. But just understand that if Doge continues to rise, the price is also going to continue to rise. Okay, so just kind of coincide with that. Let's go down the list. These are also kind of in the same price range. They are more profitable now. Yield is actually a little bit less. Well, depending, because the hash rate kind of did dip not too long ago. But these are under $1,100. They're kind of clearancing amount, though. It's kind of whatever's going to be there is what's going to go. What the issue is, though, is this KS7 price still doesn't make sense, right? So obviously it's more appealing, twice the efficiency, definitely more profitable. But when this guy's $1,000 and this guy's 6x, is that really worth 6x the price? Not in my opinion, right? Realistically, this thing should be like $39.99. Even then, it would still be 4x than this. Kind of a tough sell. Honestly, at 6K, it makes 0 sense. Okay, especially considering the window of opportunity here. Still seems way overpriced. Okay. Let's continue down the line. So these are also some that haven't really varied a whole lot. This guy actually did go down, the S21 Pro. Realistically, does it make a whole lot of sense? Honestly, no. Right? If you're eyeballing this one, they do have the cheaper model, the S21 Plus. Kind of in that price range. It's about 20% less. Very similar performance. Realistically, though, honestly, I would probably go with the Seal Miner at this point. The one that is more appealing would be the S21 XP. This one has dipped down a little bit, about 10%. It is under 6K now. And hash does have it at 5,800, which is kind of interesting because, again, the profitability has kind of gone up. Just because of BTC's price. The hash rate has also gone up, though, but this guy would honestly be more appealing just for longevity, okay? Even then, though, is it super appealing considering the S23 coming out in like 5-ish months or so? It's where it gets iffy, right? Especially if you're a person who wants latest and greatest. Again, it's just hard to buy any hardware right now if this thing kind of plays out. Okay, so again, it's different reasons, though. Again, sometimes you need tax write-offs if you're planning on profit taking a lot. That is definitely going to be a reason. So if you're a person who's just looking at ROI, then it's not going to make any sense to buy. The people who are buying right now are people who are upgrading their fleet. They're here for the long game. They're here for the long term. And also, if you are running this as a business, again, the tax write-off purposes. If you're planning on taking a lot of profits, you'll want to offset a lot of those things. Okay, so that's just something to consider on that front. So the S21 XP is available stateside from Altair Tech. That is definitely a good option. Again, for any of these vendors, for Nhash and Altair at least, I do have referral links in the description. Does help out the channel for any of you guys who are interested. Again, the advantage here, stateside inventory. If you click on whatever you're interested in, it's going to tell you if they have it here. And again, you don't have to worry about any of the tariff garbage, okay? There's going to be a slight premium, but again, factor in that, imagine if you ordered this guy and you got hit with the 35% tariff, okay? Something to think about. One interesting thing to know, as we mentioned, as far as this 21 Pro goes or this 21 Plus goes, to me, the Seal Miner is honestly a little bit more appealing. Does seem like inventory is dwindling. Okay, so at least overseas, Nhash is listing them as sold out, as is Miner Bros. Kind of interesting. There is some vendors who do have stateside inventory. For example, Altair still does have also. It does seem like they're pivoting towards trying to expedite their A3. Okay, if you guys remember, the timeline thing, potentially under 12 joules a terahash. Okay, so it looks like even the A2 Pro may actually not even come to retail. It's whatever pre-orders or whatever farms pre-ordered. It may just go straight into the A3. So it does seem like they're trying to get that thing out as quickly as possible and potentially beat bitmain to the punch. Okay, so for me, that's kind of more what I would be eyeing personally. Again, I have no issue waiting. I'm going to wait probably until this thing plays out to purchase anything. But again, that's where my eye would be more than anything. But just keep those things in mind. And again, just kind of coinciding with the lows, this thing, the Jasmine X16Q, which is a very friendly at-home ASIC, same prices still. This thing needs to go down significantly more. Still no news on the newer version, the new variation of this. I wouldn't even factor that thing being coming, right? At this point, we are the end of July. Still haven't heard a damn thing about it, which is extremely disappointing. But again, at $1,200, way overpriced for what it is. It's been a solid unit though. It's very reliable, but again, profitability and in terms of like keeping up to date, I mean, this thing's going on 3 years old now. Price needs to definitely come down, or they need to release the new version, right? X16QE, kind of a better deal, 875 with shipping included. Again, you are gonna get stuck with the 6 gigs of RAM though. It's gonna limit you with mining ETH, for example, and if any other coins that have a large DAG size. Keep that in mind. The name of the game with these guys has just been the iPolo units, which those haven't dropped in price. They've kind of remained stagnant. There is also some of the others, like the Easy 100 and such, but to me, those guys kind of fell off. They haven't posted anything. There's no new information on them. So realistically, iPolo would be the name of the game here. Let's continue down. This is one I've been getting a ton of, or not this one, the next one actually, the iceriver AL3. So this guy, again, we saw is profitable. Too much still, right? You've been able to, if you guys have been eyeing sales and such, people have been fire selling them prior to this little run up they've been having in terms of profitability for like sub $1,000. Okay, so to me, overpriced, and to me it's just also very likely that there's also a next gen unit available, right? Which is why I think that bitmain didn't even bother ever changing the price on the AL1, right? They're probably waiting for a pump for their version of the AL3 or whatever they're going to release. If it happens, again, we all know how that whole game works. Again, zero interest here at this price point. You're definitely better off buying the coin. This is one I've been getting a ton of questions on. Again, main reason is that everybody loves going on these damn things and looking at whatever's most profitable. Okay, just understand how the coin's going to work. We've done a deep dive into the A2. On top of the risk we've talked about, understand now the fact that you're going to have to stake to mine with this thing. Okay, so obviously any of us who have hardware already, you've most likely already staked enough in order to have that, at least the initial stake that's going to go up every 3 months. Again, you can check out the videos. We did 2 pretty extensive deep dives into that, but just to kind of give you a ballpark here, how much Aleo you're going to need to stake with this thing. Because again, you're not going to get this thing in time for this new staking requirement to take effect here in about a week. Okay, so as a heads up, we broke it down at current hash rate, which again, all this stuff can fluctuate, right? This is just more of a guesstimate. So currently it's about 4.8 Aleo you're going to need per mega hash. Okay, at this point, we're going to take that 4.8, multiply by the 720. So just to even be able to use this damn thing, you're going to have to buy 3,456 Aleo. Okay, which currently, at current price, which did just pump, which is what we're also talking about, that if you were going to buy any of these things, you should have been buying back then, just because, again, it is falling with the market now. Okay, so this is going to be a combination of a ASIC pump, because, again, they need as much hype with this AE2 to kind of sell this thing, because again a lot of the hype died out with this requirement, as well as the people who did buy it are going to have to purchase set amount, okay, which at current price it's over $1,000 now currently. Okay, and understand that this requirement also isn't just, okay, I have that amount, I'm good to go. You're good to go for 3 months, and 3 months that requirement's going to 2.5x, and then 3 months after that it's going to double. Okay, so it's going to be a very significant amount of Aleo. Okay, so fully understand that. So for me, definitely not appealing at all. I'm not going to do the calculations because I would have zero interest in it. As far as the design of the A2, this is something we're all questioning. There are videos now online of some of the resellers putting up. It is going to be a big boy ASIC. It's not going to be the little box that a lot of the websites are still showing. It is a full-size ASIC. It does have a full-size PSU. It's not this mini PSU from the previous KS2 and such. The main difference between the bigger boys is that there's only 2 fans. There's 2 intake fans, no exhaust fans. But it does appear to be the form factor of the larger units. So make sure you understand that if you're under the guise that it might be a little at-home thing. Okay, so technically, because of the wattage, might not be as loud, but just keep in mind that it is going to be loud. Again, there's going to be sometimes a 5-10+% variance. So even though it's rated at 1300 watts, could be slightly more. So again, this is going to be a mini, like, industrial ASIC. Okay, but just make sure you understand those things, guys. All right, but things are kind of on the up and up. I think we've guaranteed seen the lows, right? These prices from these past like 3 or 4 months, it's just been the lows. We've definitely seen that these manufacturers did not want to go below those points. I think from here, the prices are going to be kind of up only, right? And at the end of the day, whether or not they're worth it to you is going to be very dependent on your use case. If you believe this typical cycle is going to play out and we're going to peak here in the next like 3 to 4 months, probably not the best time to be buying hardware. Okay, so just understand that. But if you're a person who thinks there is no more bear markets, we're going to continue to go, then things can play out. For me, this late in the game, again, even like the L9 being the most popular ones, the time to buy was way back, right? So then hopefully in these next 3 to 4 months, if you purchased early at the right price point, like that $6,000 January batch, you should have probably, or you're probably going to make your return already, and then it'll just be gravy from there. Okay? Let me know in the comments though, guys. What do you guys think? Are you guys buying anything still? Are you guys kind of sidelined? Are you guys done for this cycle? Just kind of think where a lot of us are, and we're just kind of playing the waiting game. Let me know in the comments though, guys. Please comment, like, and subscribe, guys. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. I'm out.